Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another ACS video. Your favorite king is back, and today we're going to be talking about the summer update 2 leaks that I have for you guys and much more. So before we actually get started, if you guys can do me a quick favor, make sure to hit the subscriber button, hit that notification bell so you guys know exactly when we go live here, and the videos that will be coming your way hot and heavy. So guys, let's get into the summer update 2 leaks. All right, so as you can see here, my guy over here is just dancing around. He's having a good time. He's ready for battle, my summer Gojo, okay, my general. But right now we're not going to be battling, we're going to be talking about the summer update leaks. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you here, guys. We're going to go ahead here real quick, take a look at this, see what we got. All right, cool. Alrighty, so here's what we got going on, making sure that I got everything as we get the subscriber button still on here. All right, so first off, this is from O Trademark, okay, and this was yesterday at 11:55 a.m., okay. Basically says that I appreciate everyone who posts. I still read all these suggestions, so let me address some of them below. First thing we're gonna talk about is buffing the shells, okay. So he says here, the summer event uses the same diminishing returns system the Easter event uses. So, as an example, your first 500K shells are farmed quickly, your next 500K shells at an average speed, and then your last 300,000 shells are slow. Now, I see a lot of misinformation from players about us nerfing the drops or something, but we haven't done that. But I will understand that diminishing returns are confusing for players, so I will adjust the curve to be less punishing after the next shutdown. With that being said, I will also see a lot of players farming shells inefficiently. Go into the summer event as a group and attack the same units. You will get a lot more shells per 30 minutes in a group of 8 to 10 players that you can get on your own. Translation: if you go in with a group of players, you should be able to get more shells with a team effort versus just you alone. Personally speaking, I've been doing this for 4 days farming for shells. I can tell you for a fact on my end that I'm able to farm 1.3 million shells, which is the max shells that you can do per day, I would say within an hour to an hour and a half. Now, for some reason, when I started doing it with other players trying to farm my shells, I noticed that my shells that I've earned wasn't as high, right? Meaning that on the scale, and I'll show you as an example, right? Like right here, as my guy's a dancer right now. Oh boy, let me do this real quick so that way you guys can see. Okay, so like for example, right? You see this right here, right over here, right? So for example, let's say I had 500,000 shells, right? For some reason, it would show here that I only had 300,000 shells earned. Now, I don't know if it's because I did it with a team and they reduced the amount of shells earned, which is good, right? Because you don't want to get to 1.3 million here registering, because if you do, then you cannot farm more shells. I'm under the impression that if you're able to do it with other teammates, you can farm as much shells as you want, but I think the shells earned doesn't display, or maybe it's a glitch, I don't know. But if it's a glitch, take advantage of it, right? Take advantage of it. So all right, so we're gonna go back here, we're gonna check this out. All right, so going back to this real quick. Okay, second thing is adding capsules exclusives in various content modes. I like these ideas. They encourage more active gameplay. The balancing is a difficult part, as there is a huge gap in the DPS between different player groups, and we don't want certain modes to invalidate the value of opening orbs. I will look into ways that we can introduce it without breaking the game. Translation: he's going to implement it when you do different quests and or different missions, right? I think, as an example, I'm going to go back here. So we're going to be flip-flopping back here, guys, so that way I actually give great examples if I do it this way. So, as an example here, right? I think that if he was able, let's say, if we do certain missions, like if we roll quirks, or if we do dungeons and we kill like 10,000 people, it can just be part of a mission, right? Upgrade the missions, and then you should be able to farm cosmic capsules or even astral capsules if you're able to do it with a team. I think if you were to add specific missions that could give you like I said, like an astral, but it has to be a very, very difficult, almost impossible mission to do, like try to get 10 players and try to do, I don't know, like as an example, do dungeons for an hour straight, like back to back to back to back. Now, if you break that or someone leaves, then it automatically goes back to 0. Like maybe something like that, which would encourage more gameplay, which means they can get their player count in their, in their game, in the ACS game, which I think would be a great idea, right? So we're going to go back here once again. Next one is, this is a planned future for future update, weekly, monthly quest. Okay, so that's really not that important. Okay, so lower move raid cooldown. There aren't many games that allow infinite grinding of the primary power scale resources. There are even fewer games that allow you to grind that resources as fast as ACS. I don't actually like how the raids are functioning right now. There isn't any incentives to complete harder difficulties outside of Fusion. So it's all just a question about what's most efficiently difficult for medals per minute. Ideally, I think raids would not be beatable in less than a minute. At the higher difficulties than there would be with exclusive rewards, you can only earn those difficulties to incentivize them. Unfortunately, it's very hard to balance the difficulties in this game with such a wide range of DPS ranges between different player groups. I would like to rework the raid system at some point to be slower, more rewarding, but I'm not sure how to accomplish that at the moment. In the meantime, I will consider lowering the cooldown. I actually have an idea about this, right? A great idea, right? So this is what I'm thinking, and hopefully O Trademark is tuning in. So my suggestion would be, like, for example, right? Let's say we do Entertainment City. Now we know that if you do Impossible, you get 1,000 medals and an increased chance of getting an Astral skin, right? Now, if you were to do Nightmare or Torment, that jumps up to 2,000 to 3,000 medals and increases your chances of an Astral skin. What if you were able to do something, I don't know, along the lines of like a requirement? Get all 10 players, as I said, incentivize group gameplay. Like it has to be a full server, right? If it becomes a full server, guess what? I think just like the one thing that I was talking about earlier, why not incentivize players to work together, to play together, and do these dungeons, these raids over and over and over and over consecutively, to where it's almost like a cosmic or a astral pity, right? You know how when people build it up over time, and as you build up that pity, you can increase your chances, I think, of getting, let's say, an astral capsule, which I think would be a great idea, which would force people to play together, to work together. And here's the thing: if they break that quote unquote that streak, then they start back at 0. What that will do is it'll force players to continue to play, kind of like when Enemy Adventures was still around, where people were grinding, playing one raid after the other, or portals one after the other, in hopes of getting a secret portal to getting that secret character if they host a portal. I think that would be a great idea, to be honest. So, I mean, but only time will tell. So, but yeah, so let's go back once again over here. Where are we at? Okay. Adding utility runes, skin FXs. So this is a large portion of our casual player base that doesn't really interact with the rune affix system as much as I would like. So I hesitate to introduce utility bonuses here that would create an even bigger gap between these groups. Instead, I think it would be more beneficial to give utility bonuses from quests, achievements, upgrades, or things that players will earn regardless of their interaction with the side gameplay loops. If we do add them, they would probably need to be additive rather than multiplicative. Translation: lack of interest here is they're not going to do anything about that. So you can scrap that idea. Buff Nightmare Raid Fusion value. This goes back to what I was talking about, raid difficulties not having enough value and too big of a gap in DPS between players, but I will make it 0.33 for now, which is 30 Nightmare raids to fill. So here's the thing. I'm just so sick and tired. Just being honest here, guys. I'm just so sick and tired of people complaining that it's too much of a grind, okay? I don't know what it is about you guys. You want to continue to play this game. This is what I'm seeing from both sides. You guys are saying it's too hard, King, to continue to grind because it's like it's taking forever, right? And then they decide to buff it. When they buff it and you guys end up beating it, oh, this game is boring, I'm going somewhere else. There has to be a balance. I think it's great at where it's at, like doing 40 Nightmare raids. I don't know why they have to reduce it after the next update. It's like you guys are just not wanting to do it. You know, there's no value in it. So I think you shouldn't even touch it, to be honest. It's just kind of ridiculous, man. Like, come on, dude. It's a game, for crying out loud. You know, grind it, and then you'll get, you know, you'll get the value out of the game. Another thing here, remove damage bots from tourneys. From tournaments. We will do this in a future tournament rework, but I was told it's harder to fix than it is with Devour DPS dummies. I don't think they should remove damage bots. I think what they need to do is they need to separate the pay-to-win players from the free-to-play players, because I am so sick and tired of trying to get this, like, this hammer, and I'll show you guys here in a second, right? Right here, okay? Since tournaments was introduced, I have not been able to get this hammer, okay? And because for some reason, it's always like the same 100, like 50 to 100 people that keep winning it, okay? I don't know if they're scripters. Most of them probably pay to win. They probably buy every single one of these. If I can scroll, see, this is how crazy it is. They won't even, they buy every single one of these ones right here, right? To upgrade their team, which to me, I mean, if they have the money for it, great, but it's not fair to other players, like, I would say, like, other players that are just truly free to play, or me, somewhat pay to play myself. It's just, I can never get this hammer. And for some reason, I'm doing like 2.3 Omega B DPS, and I can't even rank in the leaderboard, man. I just can't. It's kind of ridiculous. And people say it's like, oh, you know, streamer luck, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. No, it's not, man. You know, they need to balance that. They need to separate the free-to-play from the true pay-to-play players, man, because they get it every time. And also, last but not least, he says one final note that I want to reply to: resetting the towers, right? It's been a hot topic. And he says, no, bold caps. For last time, no, it'll never happen. Stop asking for it. It completely breaks down our monetization structure, and it's always been an entitled and lazy suggestion. With that being said, we are looking into ways to introduce more limited resources of diamonds in different areas. Translation, they will never do it because it's going to hurt their money-making system, which is they're making money off of this game by people purchasing, right? And I'll go back to that once again, by purchasing these products here, which adds in diamonds anyways. So I mean, I agree with them with that, because if they did that, the game wouldn't be fun to play. This game would have no value, okay? But I mean, oh yeah, another thing that I forgot that I wanted to introduce you to as well, guys, is the possible, if I can pull it up here, or actually, did I pull it up, or was it here? Cool. All right, so let me go ahead and go back there real quick. Oh my gosh, what happened? Where's it at? Where's it at? Okay, come on now. Is it not showing up? Come on. Oh boy. Okay, we're here. Okay, cool. There it is. Oh boy, I was almost getting worried. Okay, so now they're basically saying, okay, if I were to pull this up, for the summer event part 2 next weekend, they said they're going to have the new exclusive or new summer quirks and affixes. I have reason to believe that the new summer quirk is going to be an Astral Quirk, none other than a warrior Astral Quirk known as martialist or martial artist, or however you want to say it, right? Which says, I want to become a martial arts master. So let's take a look at this right here, okay? If they do introduce this, okay? If they do introduce this, this is what it's going to look like right here, right now, guys. Right here, they're going to have 350% base damage, 1,000, guys, 1,000 base punch, or I'm sorry, 1,000% punch damage. Holy moly. 100% attack speed, 50% crit rate, 250% crit rate. I mean, minus 200 ability damage. I mean, because you won't be able to do any abilities. Guys, this is going to be godly, unworldly. Let me go and play that again. If you guys are able to get this, oh my goodness, you're going to be just destroying mobs left and right. And like I said, this is going to be super exciting to have, because I can't wait to combine this with having a half a team of warriors, once again, half a team of mages, because I'm telling you, mages were just overpowering just this entire ACS set. I'm hoping that this right here is going to help bring balance back into the game, because like I said, guys, I'm always a firm believer in balance, and if you have it, I think there should be an incentive to have 4 mages or half and half mages and half warriors, which I think that's, like, for example, now that I'm talking about it, so something I want to bring to your attention, if you guys were to see this right here, okay, the harmony, right? that would be awesome if they had like Harmony A, Harmony B, where you can have warriors and mages, right? Where if it's half and half, then you can have like Omega B or Omega C, or if it's like more mages than warriors or vice versa, then it'll be like Omega B or Omega A. So there should be an incentive to have a half and half team, which I think would be pretty cool, and you can increase your DPS and boss damage over time. So I mean, that's pretty much, you know, what I'm thinking about there. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for today. Appreciate you guys joining me in. Until next time, I will see you in the next video. Peace.